The movie starts off in a really tough spot, in this place that's been torn apart by war somewhere in the Middle East. There's this group of American Special Forces soldiers who are stuck and captured by the bad guys. These bad guys are treating them really badly, like asking them tough questions and hurting them in this tiny hidden place. Things get even scarier when a lady soldier named Wine is about to go through the same awful stuff as her friends. But then her leader, Captain Jesse Freeman, steps in and tells the bad guys that she doesn't know anything. Captain Jesse standing up like that just makes the bad guys really angry. They really want answers from him. They try shocking him with electricity and hitting him, but he doesn't give in. He's really strong, and he won't tell them anything to help them. The bad guys start getting mad at each other because they can't agree on what to do. It's a big mess. During all this, Captain Jesse faints, so the bad guys don't get any answers. The bad guys keep fighting among themselves. But what they don't know is that Captain Jesse was just pretending to be unconscious. When he sees a chance, he quickly frees himself and fights back against the captors, surprising them. He fights really hard and manages to save his two friends and turn things around. But the danger isn't over yet. It turns out the bad guys had set up a bomb in their hiding place, so Captain Jesse and his team have to be really brave and escape. While they're running away, the bomb explodes, hurting all three soldiers really badly. But only Captain Jesse survives the blast. Skipping ahead a few years, Jesse isn't in the army anymore. Now he's living a quiet life with his family. He's got a wife named Alicia and two kids, Ryan and Mara. Even though Jesse's working as a security guard, he's always really focused on his job and doesn't spend enough time with his family. Alicia's worried about this and tells him to hang out more with their kids. Jesse's kids, Ryan and Mara, haven't really been getting along, and that's been causing some problems at home. So Jesse, being a concerned dad, decides to listen to Alicia and spend more time with his kids. He comes up with this cool idea to take them to his workplace, which is this big basketball stadium owned by an NBA team. On the day they go, there's a special basketball game happening at the stadium. Jesse invites Ryan and Mara to watch it. He tells them it's gonna be a super cool experience because important people like the mayor, Mrs. Christine, and the governor, Mr. Paul, will be there. And there's this new rich owner of the stadium named Diana, who's gonna show up too. Mara gets all excited when she hears this, and in another part of the stadium, Diana and her boyfriend, Millie Hip, just got there and everyone's crowding around them, like reporters and fans. So Jesse's still showing Ryan and Mara around the stadium. He's introducing them to his boss, Devlin Montez, and this janitor guy named Gus. The kids are super interested in getting a look at all the stuff that happens behind the scenes at the stadium, and they really want to see more. Meanwhile, the security folks at the stadium are being really careful because a bunch of suspicious people are saying they're from the Wi-Fi service. They get checked out, and then they're allowed to go inside the stadium. Jesse takes Ryan and Mara to their seats, but there are two rowdy fans causing a ruckus. Jesse has to step in and handle the situation to make things safe again. While he's doing that, Ryan and Mara are left on their own for a little bit. In another part of the stadium, the new owner, Diana, shows up with her boyfriend, Millie Hip. The governor, Paul, and the mayor, Christine, are all excited about it. They thank Diana for helping out the city and taking care of the basketball stadium. But here's the twist. There are some sneaky people who got into the stadium pretending to be Wi-Fi workers. This guy named Job is leading them, and they've managed to mess with the security stuff and put bombs in important places. Then they put on security uniforms so they look like they're supposed to be there. The basketball game started, and Job's crew began getting rid of the real security guys one by one. This made everything crazy and mixed up in the whole stadium. But even with all the noise, Ryan and Mara didn't know about the danger. They were having a good time watching the game from where they were sitting. In another part of the stadium, Diana, Millie, Mr. Paul, and Mrs. Christine were all relaxed and enjoying the game from a really special room. Jesse was working really hard to catch the intruders and stop the bombs from going off. But Job and his team managed to get into the special room where Diana, Millie, Mr. Paul, and Mrs. Christine were hanging out. Job acted like he was a security guard, at first trying to trick everyone. He acted like a big fan of Millie's and even said he wanted to steal stuff from Diana. Things got super tense in the room when Job pulled out a gun and everyone got really scared. Even though Mr. Paul tried to talk to Job, things got worse really fast. Job shot and killed Mr. Paul, and everyone in the room was shocked and horrified. They couldn't believe what had just happened. While the basketball game kept going, Ryan was totally into it, but his sister, Mara, didn't care much about the game. She kept bothering Ryan with questions about their dad, Jesse, who worked as a security guy at the stadium. Ryan didn't pay much attention to her worries, thinking their dad's job wasn't a big deal. Getting more and more frustrated with how little her brother cared, Mara suddenly realized she really had to use the bathroom, but she didn't know where to find one. So she snuck into the security guard's restroom. What she saw inside was really shocking. The real security guards were being hurt really badly by Job and his gang. Right when she was about to get away, Mara got caught by Job's team. They took her away so she couldn't tell anyone what she saw. While this was happening, Job made Diana give him a ton of money, like $1 billion, and he told his buddy Gamma to mess up the stadium's communication stuff so the security guards couldn't talk to each other. Back in the seats, Jesse was worried sick because he couldn't find his daughter Mara. He was annoyed at Ryan for not looking out for his sister. Then Jesse saw there was a tracking thing on Mara's VIP card, so he turned it on to see where she was. But Job's gang had already taken Mara and had the VIP card. They knew that Jesse could track it, so they used it to make it seem like Jesse was doing bad stuff. Jesse got really confused when some of his security officer friends suddenly acted like they were against him. Even though he didn't want to fight them, he had to protect himself. Jesse's training as a security guard came in handy, and he easily beat the guys attacking him. After beating Job's crew and proving he was innocent, Jesse got a visit from a janitor, Gus. Gus noticed something weird about the security guys that day and told Jesse what he thought. He said most of the guards had been changed with new people. This got Jesse thinking, so he decided to look into it more. Him and Gus went to the security center, but it was too late. Job's gang had taken over and was in charge. Jesse and Gus had to be quick and sneak to a safe spot. While hiding, Jesse saw that Job's team had really fancy guns that worked automatically. It was obvious these guys were really dangerous and organized. Even though Mara was caught by Job's gang, she tricked Omega and tried to run away. They got her again, but she managed to hide. In the special VVIP room, Diana finally realized who Job really was. He used to be a CIA agent, but he got kicked out for killing a Muslim family that he said were terrorists. Diana told everyone about this, and it got Job all worked up, and he threatened her. While all this was happening, Jesse and Gus bumped into Gamma, one of Job's team members. Gamma was putting a bomb in place. Jesse asked her stuff about her security stuff and where her base was, but she didn't know what he needed. Gus tried to catch Gamma, but it was tough. Sadly, even Gus couldn't handle Gamma, so Jesse had to face her himself. They had a really tough fight, but finally, Jesse won. He asked her where his daughter was, but Gamma said she didn't know. Shockingly, Gamma said they were all gonna die when the basketball game ended, and then she shot herself in the head. Jesse acted quickly and defused the bomb that Gamma had put there earlier. His military training came in handy, and he stopped the bomb from blowing up. With that danger gone, Jesse and Gus focused on saving Mara and the other people stuck in the stadium. At the fancy room where Diana was, Job got super angry because Diana was messing with him. But his anger was also because he remembered his own family getting hurt by the government. Diana made things worse by saying his family left him because of his mistakes, and this made Job even more mad. He grabbed Diana, but he didn't kill her. Instead, he told her to choose between saving her boyfriend Millie or Mayor Christine. But things changed when Diana paid the money Job asked for. Right after that, Job called Gamma to see how things were going, but he was surprised when Jesse answered. Job sent his team to find and kill Jesse, and he got really worried when he heard Gamma might be dead. But then, Omega showed up with Mara. The fancy room where Diana was got really tense and not nice, but outside, where the game was happening, it was all lively and full of energy. People were cheering and having a good time. But then Jesse came back to Ryan, and he was really worried. He couldn't find Mara because everything was crazy with the bad guys and the bombs. Ryan really wanted to help Jesse, but Jesse, who was experienced as a soldier, told him to stay where he was and not get in danger. Meanwhile, Jesse and Gus started a dangerous mission to find and stop the bombs that were all over the stadium. Back in the fancy room, Mara was being questioned by Job, but she acted all calm and cool, even though Job was really scary and had a gun. She just answered his questions like it was no big deal and wasn't scared at all. She even said confidently that her dad would save her. Jesse and Gus were working really hard to find the other bombs, but things got tough and they couldn't move forward. Jesse thought of a new plan and went to the place where they make announcements, like Gus suggested. There he tried to get an officer named Bane to start an alarm for everyone to leave. But before they could do that, two of Job's gang came in and attacked them. Jesse managed to get away from them, but sadly, Bane got shot and died in the mess. Jesse was really desperate to find a hiding spot, but then he bumped into Diana, who turned out to be his boss all this time. He told her what was happening, and then out of nowhere, Devlin showed up with a gun. It turns out he was part of Job's gang too. Jesse was super shocked and let down by his boss betraying him. He realized he was on his own to save Mara and the others. Jesse had to think fast, so he took away Devlin's gun and fought him. Even though Devlin tried hard, Jesse beat him easily. He took this thing from Devlin that could listen in on conversations. Jesse used it to trick Job into thinking Devlin was still alive. When Jesse found out that Mara was with Job, he rushed to save her. Job started freaking out when he heard that Jesse was a really skilled Special Forces soldier. He got scared and got mad at Mara. He told Omega to grab Ryan, hoping he could use him to get Jesse to do what he wanted. Omega's job was to get Ryan out of the stands, but Ryan wouldn't listen to him. He did what his dad said. No matter how much Omega tried, Ryan stayed put. Job used cameras to find Jesse and then told Omega and two others to go after him. Jesse tricked them and led them into a room where he fought and beat them up easily because of his army training. Jesse knocked out Omega and made him say where Mara was. Then Jesse killed Omega. Jesse got in touch with Gus, who knew the stadium layout better. But Jesse didn't want to use the usual way to get to the fancy room where Mara was. He wanted to surprise them. While Jesse talked to Gus, Gus found out there were still bombs in the stadium that could go off. He was confused because he couldn't find Jesse. Gus knew he had to stop the bombs because the game was almost over and they could explode at any time. In the fancy room, Job was ready to blow things up with a detonator in his hand. But then Jesse crashed in by breaking a window. Even though Jesse showed up out of nowhere, Job wasn't scared. He kept pressing the detonator and a bomb went off. But guess what? Gus had already removed the other bombs, so this one didn't explode inside the building like Job expected. Jesse didn't waste any time. He took out his weapon and got rid of Job and his gang fast. Job managed to grab Mara and ran away. Jesse ran into the crowd that was all panicked after the bomb went off. Jesse's wife, Alicia, found out about the bomb going off and hurried to the stadium. Jesse and Job were about to fight one last time. Ryan, who was watching from lower down, saw them fighting up above. Jesse was doing okay at first, but he got tired and Job pulled out a weapon. Jesse fell down, and Mara had to watch her dad almost lose. But then Mara did something really brave. She kicked Job where it hurts, and he got super mad. He threw Mara down, but Jesse got up and saved her. Then things got crazy because it turned out Job had a bomb inside him. Diana suddenly showed up and aimed her gun at him. Job didn't think she could use it, but she shot him and surprised everyone. Jesse used this moment to attack Job, but he saw the bomb in Job's body was about to blow up. Jesse quickly kicked Job, and the bomb exploded in the air without hurting anyone. The movie ended happily, with Jesse's family safe and together, and the stadium saved. Diana talked to Jesse and wanted him to be the top security guy at the stadium. Jesse felt honored but said no for now because he wanted to spend time with his family. The moral of the story is no matter how tough the situation, standing up for what's right and facing challenges head-on can lead to unexpected victories. And just like Captain Jesse protected his loved ones, spending quality time with family is truly invaluable.